Hey everyone, my glasses are fogging up. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, the weekly, once again, live stream on my channel in which we all gather around the modern day campfires of our iPhone screens and computer monitors and televisions, I guess, in some cases, if the analytics are to be believed, and talk about some stuff that happened in the weekend Geek. I am Terry Smith, the host of the show, and today, at the top of the hour, after talking to you guys for a bit and rambling nonsensically about other things, I'm going to be unboxing this badass Mandalorian. Yeah. One step closer, everyone. One step closer, and I'll talk about what that means later on. Sorry, just looking at my background here and thinking, what's different? Oh! Now you can see where all the fun happens. Okay. All right. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I was also just down in my basement. Part of the reason that I'm late is that I was down in my basement trying to find spiders. No, there are no spiders down there. Although I have a funny story to tell. Remind me later to tell that story. I'm going to bring up the chats here so I can see what all the comments are saying. Thank you. Oh, wow. There's a lot of comments already. I just got started. Now I got to catch up. Coffee from today is from Piper's Lab. It's a quasi-local-ish regional coffee place. I think they started out in Nashville and they've opened up at least one St. Louis location. And it's damn good. It says Sumatran blend. So it's really dark, really bold, a little bit bitter. But we like the bitterness, don't we? And we do. I do. What did I say? Anyway, that's a flashback to another time. This I cannot lose. So let's just go ahead and drop it into the card reader. Legitimately all the photos that I just shot of who was the band that I went to see the other night? It's around here somewhere with all the other I'm totally out of it today, guys. I'm sorry. I was up in the middle of the night watching The Last of Us season 1, trying to get caught up before tomorrow's season 2 premiere. I mean, I'm caught up, but memory being what it is with me, sometimes I have to rewatch things, and this is one of those cases I'm going to be rewatching. I am currently rewatching. I think I'm on episode 5, so I'm almost done, but I've got a lot to do today. So I decided, in the middle of my nightly insomnia session, that's what I was going to do with my time. Anyway, so lots happened this week. This is who I went to photograph the other day. Soul Coughing, who are back together after 25 years, doing their first tour in 25 years. I knew absolutely nothing about Soul Coughing going into the week. And then on Tuesday, I get an invitation to go see them with a friend of mine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see if I can shoot that. So I reached out to my guy and he was like, I'll try. And sure enough, they approved it. There were like half a dozen of us, like 8 people in the pit, photographing this band that I knew nothing about. They're good. They're really, really good. Kind of a groovy jazz, kind of hip-hop-ish ensemble. Kind of a really lo-fi, low-key vibe. Very much stoner music. Very much stoner music. In fact, I don't remember going to a show where I smelled that much weed since the 80s. And that was outside of the venue. Wild. Anyway. They were performing at the pageant in University City, St. Louis, which is my favorite venue here in town. So if you're ever in town and think, I don't want to check out a live show, look at the pageant first. I didn't get paid for that. But a buddy of mine is head of security there. So that doesn't mean I get to bring in my sidearm or anything. If I had a sidearm. I'm sitting pretty low here. I don't like it. There we go. Springy. I do love the bouncy. Okay, what else is there to talk about? Man, so many great shows are coming out with new seasons in the next month or so. I mean, I know we got Black Mirror coming out with a new season. We've got, obviously, Andor is coming out with a new season, final season. It's supposed to be 5, but okay. Disney. Wuss. Bad Wolf Media is over here reminding me who I went to see. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. God, what else? What do we got? Murderbot is coming. That's going to be good. Yeah, I knew nothing of Murderbot until I saw that trailer. Once again, Apple TV Plus proves that they are a force to be reckoned with when it comes to sci-fi. Nobody does sci-fi better. The Sci-Fi Channel should take note of what Apple TV Plus is doing, because that's how you do sci-fi. My coffee's going to get cold and I don't like that, so I'm going to pour it into a actual thermos. Here. To your health, everyone. Thank you, Bad Wolf Media Mike, for the gift of stickers, which I was finally able to find a really awesome use for. I keep meaning to deco my laptop with them. And again, I keep wanting to show you guys the laptop, and I just don't have. Yeah, can't. And it's but it's just so sexy. The matte black PowerBook, 16-inch PowerBook is, or MacBook Pro PowerBook. The 16-inch MacBook Pro is just so dead sexy and sleek on its own. I have a hard time. I know that people like to customize and decorate their laptops with stickers, and I have so many stickers designed for that very purpose. It helps, I guess, probably to identify with somebody's laptop when they're mixed up with other people's laptops, but that's not an issue for me, so I'm like, just keep it sleek, keep it beautiful. Anyway, the new version of, I wanted to ask you guys your guys' opinion on something. The new set has debuted now. Sets, actually, there are two sets, one out in California, one here, for the Sideshow First Looks, and I wanted to get your thoughts on them. Let us know what you think. I happen to be a fan of both theirs and mine. Which one do you prefer? If either, do you wish we'd go back to just the plain old white? Because I don't. I do like the longer format. I will admit that, and I've told my superiors that. But yeah, just let me know what you get. Let me know what you guys. If you've seen that, let me know what you think. I'm very curious to find out what people's opinions are, what people are saying about them, and I don't like diving into the comments, because when I do, I want to get into a fight. Still a sticker on the bottom of that one. Thank you for the awesome Yeti mug, thermos and jelly. Anyway, so moving right along. What else? There's another show that I just saw has a new season coming out. Anybody want to help me out with that? AJ Agrews is not going to do it. He's not going to be here. Ryoko brings up that we are actually getting Andor. Yeah. That's pretty exciting, right? And I said multiple times on this very show, we will never see a Cassian Andor figure from Hot Toys. And I routed off a list of reasons why, and there was even one reason that I didn't rattle off. And I still won't. But but it's we're getting I hate using that term. Hot Toys is producing a Cassian Andor figure at long last, and it's from Rogue One. It's not from the TV show. Now, what that does is that actually speaks to the reasons why I thought we would never see a Cassian Andor figure from Hot Toys. And the number one reason for that was because he has so many different costume changes so frequently, almost from the beginning of the show, that it's hard to decide which one is the quintessential Andor. So, but they ducked all that by going back to Rogue One and creating a companion piece for all the other Rogue One figures that they created, and for the one that they still haven't created. Baze Malbus. We'll see. They prototyped it. We'll see how the Cassian figure sells. Maybe they'll do I don't know. There's a big gap in content for Star Wars. So that does provide them with opportunity, if they want to keep the flow of Star Wars figures going, then it provides them with an opportunity to actually fill those gaps with figures that we haven't seen from them yet. And Cassian Andor is one of them. There are others. Hoth Luke, Hoth Han, Bespin Han, which I think should be a big old DX 2-pack or something. Hoth and Bespin Han. Wouldn't that be choice? Yeah, I love that idea. Listen to me, Hot Toys. I have ideas. I wish I'd made twice as much coffee as I did. Did you guys take a gander at that thumbnail? Man, that's the very first thing I did when I woke up. I am bleary-eyed as hell. And I have to admit, a little bit hungover. That's right, left off the wagon this week. Just feet first. Not head first. Yeah. And had a couple of dragon's milk. Yeah, imperial stouts. They're so delicious that it's hard to drink just one. And if you drink two, you're done. Forget about it. But it was an event. And I'm happy to return to being sober tonight. Oh, wait. The Royale's having their 25th anniversary party today. They make a splendid assortment of non-alcoholic cocktails. There's the answer. Okay, what's this? Somebody said switch something. Do I have to switch my mic? I'm just going to call out to my... Switch your mic. Am I really doing that right now? Oh, God. Okay, sorry, guys. That's freaking annoying. I have no idea why that would happen. Come on, StreamYard. Where are we at? Settings. There we go. Audio. Yep. Sure enough. Thank you, Keith. Good save. How's that? Is that better? There we go. All right. I'm guessing that's better. I was wondering why. I actually did a slap test, and it didn't register very loud. And then I walked away to do laundry. So, but I'm assuming that's better. Oh God. Yeah. I'll get to that. The only problem with this mug, and it's a good problem to have, is that you have to. There is a really awesome lid on there, and I'm only seeing. Okay, it looks dirty because there's condensation on the inside. That you have to push down to release, and then push back, so it won't open accidentally, or it's harder to open it accidentally. And so it's a two-step process to drink your coffee. Other things that I'm doing this weekend, I'm going to have to do some online shopping because one of my favorite outlets, Iron and Resin out in Ventura, California, is having their summer sale, which means they're selling off all their awesome winter clothing. Waxed Haley Stevenson's cotton canvas galore, baby. And so many awesome fun t-shirts and so many great pants and things that would typically be borderline unaffordable for me are going to be now... now heading my way. I hope. Typically, the good stuff sells out really quickly. Everybody's holding on, waiting for this sale. So it's like the biggest sale event in Iron and Resin. For those who don't remember, I did. Is it here? It's not. It's hanging up back there somewhere. I did go out there a couple of weeks ago, and I brought home oh God, I can't even remember which brand of jacket. Is it the Scout? No, it's not the Scout. That's a motorcycle jacket. One of their jackets in a special, really super dark green color that when you see it in near darkness, it looks black with a awesome brown corduroy collar and flannel lining and wax canvas. It's yeah, I love wax canvas almost as much as I love my waxed nutsack. I'll let that sit there for a little while before explaining to newcomers. Okay, here we go. Let's go into the comments and see what everybody's doing. It's been 15 minutes of me just rambling. Steve Nara, first out of the gate, from all the way out in, oh my God, I wanted to say it. I almost said Atlantic City, but I know you're in Virginia Beach. How's it going, Steve? Welcome. The two Steves. This is like the Saturday morning Toy Tunes of old. It was typically Steve and Steve right out of the gate. Good to hear from you, Steve 131 from across the big pond, Manchester, right? Yeah, sorry. Got a lot of viewers from England and Scotland and Wales. So yeah, it's good to hear from you too, bud. I don't think that you've been here since I've been back, right? Is this your first return to the return? Anyway, Bad Wolf Media Mike is here. What's up, dude? Sorry you couldn't join me last night. It was last night? 2 nights ago. It was a really good show. I left early because I was tired. I'm a big old man now. Morning, everyone. Droids. I will tell you this. I brought it up in case there's time. So, 000's here. BT1's right over there. While I was down there, I was actually looking for Chopper. And I know where Chopper is down there, but there was legitimately 30 seconds until it was time to start the show. And Chopper is still sealed in a box with 4 other figures. And that would have taken too much time because there were other boxes of figures stacking on top of him. I'm in the middle of of a big renovation down in the basement, what I think of as a big renovation, I've found. See, I'm experiencing water leakage in my basement right now, which is a common thing here in St. Louis, especially at a place like mine that's up on a slope. So there's a lot of water draining off, and it just saturates the soil around the house, and it seeps through the river rock that we use for our foundations from back in the 1940s when they built this house. So I'm getting like little rivulets of water running from the corners of the house down into the drain in the basement, and it got into some of my comic books. Fortunately, all my comic books are bagged and boarded, so nothing was damaged. It got into my records. Same story, bagged and not boarded. They don't need boards. And so I've been buying up at a rate of for a while there, I was buying up at a rate of about one a day. These amazing husky shelves, like industrial shelves, like the kind that you see in warehouses that they have like a 10,000 pound capacity. And I'm not sure how many of you out there collect comic books and how many of you don't. But for those who don't, a box of comics weighs about 10,000 pounds, just so you're aware. So does a box of records. So yeah, I've just been lining the walls down there with these things just to get things up off the floor. And quite frankly, it's kind of nice just to be able to walk around down there. Developing a labyrinth. Still waiting on word back on how to special order a Minotaur. Depends on what country you're from. Anyway, moving right along. I am just chatty today. So my fellow posers, hope you all are awesome. I am feeling really awesome today. Considering I'm probably at some level experiencing my first hangover in 5 months. Yeah, I think 5 months. And I feel pretty good. 2 beers, hungover, week. That's a weakness I'm comfortable with. Good to hear from you too, Christopher. I almost called you Christian. Would you have hated me for that? I really hope Sabine and Jabba the Hutt. I almost said Jabba the Gut. Get some smoochy time. I don't have a Jabba. I do not have a Jabba. Did Hot Toys do one? I know Sideshow did. Hot Toys never did a Jabba, right? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm starting to lose track. I thought they moved beyond a romantic relationship. Or are you being funny? They can try to say like a brother and sister all they want, but well, we also have the original trilogy. We both know brothers and sisters can smooch. What is going on? Man, you guys. I don't know if I can hang with you. You guys are like on a whole level of weird that I don't know I can touch. Despite how hard I try. I don't know if I can hit it. Okay, Laura Keelis is here. What's up, Laura? I saw earlier that you said something about Willow in the comments as I was scrolling through them. Yes, my eyes are that fast while my brain is not. Universal Key, hello, dude. What's up? Parisho, Mr. Robert Parisho. Despite the political craziness, we got some good stuff this week. Cassian and a new track by Ghost. Lacrima. What a great name for a song by a band with that has all the trappings of black metal. It sounds like something just ferociously satanic, and yet it's just crying. Lacrima, like lacrimal ducts, tear ducts. One of mine is infected and has been for months now. I've been to a dermatologist, and I'm gonna have to go back because I think we're gonna have to get a biopsy on it. Yeah, looks like it might be cancer, which means I'd have to have surgery, and then I'd have to have plastic surgery, and it would be this whole thing. But hopefully, it's just that I'm not taking care of myself. Oh, God. John Wick in this week? Oh, you did get him. Good for you. Did you get it locally, or did you actually order it? Great figure. Awesome figure. I highly encourage anyone who has the means and the space to pick it up, because I didn't, just so one of you out there could. That's my reason. I feel like I'm on fire today. I want to start making shorts out of these things. But the thing of it is because of the setup that I have, and because I'm so close to the screen, I've tried making shorts, and this is legitimately what you see. Trying to get it. There we go. This is what you see. It's just like a big screen of my freaking face, my aging face, right there up on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer screen. I mean, at least with this, there's some distance created. But I would have to like go way the hell back and start sitting way the hell back from the camera in order to do one in the best way possible, also showcasing whatever I'm showing off on screen. So it's a challenge I need to circumvent. The world may be on fire, but I got bacon. Man, you guys are just bumming me out about the world being on fire. And it is. But But I got bacon cooking and biscuits and gravy cooking too. Yeah, I'm jealous of that. I'm going to be honest. I started doing eggs again, mostly because I'm in the process of healing up this tear or strain or whatever you want to call it. It's right here, right there, and it's the muscle that does this motion. It's a pronation. Yeah, that it pronates the arm, and the way you know that, by the way, is when you're rotating this way. It's so you can hold a cup of soup, and then it's supination. I want to live in a soup nation. It's a nation where they eat nothing but soup. But yeah, I'm going through physical therapy twice a day. That's $150 a session, and it's better. It's better. That the aforementioned first look set that I had to construct here, that's what did it to me. Big piece of butcher block. Injury. Boom. Done. John Galgano's here. What's up? Welcome to Star Wars Show. A Star Wars Show. Not the Star Wars Show. The Well Mandalorian, he's... Die Well Man. He's German. What? Oh! That. Nice one. Nice one very much. Thank you very much. I switched my mic. Hopefully it's good. I should scroll down. Hey, Paul Hernandez is here. That's another reason to scroll down. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Paul and I talked briefly about maybe doing another show together. We should do that. Oh, I also want to do another show together with the other Paul. Okay. I'm also thinking about doing I was inspired by Paul Sun-Hyun Lee's show from 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I threw down the gauntlet and said, if you guys give Paul $500 in super chats, then I'll cut off all my hair and shave my beard. But I talked to Paul about it the next day, and he had the idea that I should do such a thing as a fundraiser on my own channel. Like if I do a fundraiser, it's a cancer kind of a fundraiser. All the money goes to a cancer charity of my choice. Bad timing because, okay, I won't get into it. There's a cancer event. There's a cancer charity event happening tonight in my hometown, and it would have been great to have had that done and been able to cut them that check. All right. So yeah, thinking about a cancer fundraiser. So if you guys are wanting to make a tax deductible donation, hold off. There's something coming our way. I lost my place. I'm wondering if the other microphone is the reason why I had my Vader voice. Yeah, we talked about Andor. Chris Cause is here. What's up, Chris? Host Kenneth Bird. Hello, dude. Did I skip anybody? Sorry, guys. I lost my place, so everything's all helter-skelter here now. Big Dog Pound, when did you show up? There he is, right there. Saying hello to everybody as always. Perhaps the most popular person on this show, and I'm including myself in that running. Oh man, I am almost out. Maybe there needs to be an intermission while I make more coffee. Yeah. Yeah, this is I'm actually working on another video for Sideshow this weekend that is basically just poses of Sabine Wren. So, timely. We'll just call this practice. Murder by this AJ Agrus is here and cannot be joining us. Oh, dude, Love, Sex, and Robots. What? Hold on. There we go. Has another season coming in May. My God, so many. It's so weird. Why are they doing this? Right when the weather's getting nice and everybody needs to be going outside, all of the networks are putting out these great shows. Doctor Who. That's the one I saw this morning, and I think I just caught. Yeah, Steve Nara had a comment there too. Yeah, it dropped today. I almost watched it at 3 o'clock in the morning, but decided I should get some more sleep before coming to visit you guys. And 3 o'clock in the morning is when I found out that Doctor Who had dropped. So is that what the Murderbot Diaries is the name of the books? Like I said, I was completely unaware of this before seeing the trailer. Am I skipping anybody? I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. It's not in the geeky genre, but I absolutely cannot say enough about the pit. Dude, Hospital dramas aren't my jam. They are not my jam. Um, I watched a season or two of ER simply because I was living with a woman who liked watching ER, and that was the only reason. As soon as we split, I stopped watching ER. Never saw a single episode of Grey's Anatomy. Even Scrubs didn't draw me in. I saw a few episodes of it that were playing in a house that I was in at the time, but that's about it. So I'm not really one for hospital stuff. But so many people were recommending The Pit to me. So many people whose opinion I trust, and they were doing so with such force that I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I thought the whole idea of Noah Wiley, it's a Weil or Wiley? I don't know. It was me. If it was me and my name was Noah Weil, I would change it to Noah Wiley. Just flows nicely. Impossible to watch just one episode of that show. And it's done now. So you can set aside 15 hours for yourself, whatever, more, and watch it all because you will want to. That's not like any hospital drama that I've ever seen. And I understand that a lot of people, a lot of websites, a lot of Reddits were complaining about lack of character development in the first episode. Dude, it's an hour. Like every episode, it's a 15 episode, I think, arc that covers 15 hours in an emergency room during the day shift of an emergency room. It's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff. I would love to be able to watch it again, but it's so freaking time consuming. That's the thing with me. I used to be more active out of the house. And that's back in the day when all that I really watched was movies. I didn't follow many TV programs. And even if I did, everything had to be, recorded on a VHS or whatever. And so I just wasn't into it. I liked films because they were easily digestible. Anytime that I wanted to watch Star Wars, it's only 2 hours out of my life. Now, these days, the best quality content in that area is in television programming for multiple reasons that I won't get into because I'm already running behind. But the problem with that is that my retention level isn't great, which is why I'm able to watch a movie that I like over and over and over again and still get a positive experience out of it. Because a lot of that, like I said, my retention rate isn't that high. So if I go long enough without watching a movie, most of the time, for most movies, I'll forget most of everything that happened in it. It's almost like having the same experience all over again, watching it for the first time all over again. But the problem with that is that there's so much more time. They put so much, the demands on my time are just exorbitant. I can't, there's only so many times you can watch a 12 episode season of 15 episode, I think is how long they went, of Daredevil, or even an 8 episode season of Andor. That's why the shorter form programming, shows that have like a 30-minute runtime, those are much more palatable. You get an 8 episode, like She-Hulk. You can breeze through She-Hulk in a day. Still a lot of big demand on your time, but still. Where are we at? Yeah, no. I don't know. I had that thought, actually. Recently, like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And I don't know that it would... I think it would be too distracting. Because if there are going to be separate subsequent seasons of the show, then the temptation would be there to bring back Alex Kingston, for instance, or bring in George Clooney. And again, that would distract from the characters. No, I'm glad that they didn't do that. I can understand why an ER fan would want that or would have wished for that, but I think that it works better the way that it is. And thank you for enabling me. I blame my dirty laundry for almost everything. That was September. Oh, is that right? Wow. Okay. I think that was a happy accident that was, yeah. And there's, okay, we're back up to there. So that's where we were like 10 minutes ago. Chopper is still sealed in a box. That's correct. What's he worth? I think he's still available at Sideshow. Yeah, because I wasn't really doing much while I was with my own 6 scale while I was away from this channel and not doing shows. So I just wound up, not opening my presents to myself. Paul Hernandez is here. Still. He didn't just say hi and leave. Well, my name says, but sure, call me Christian. My friends have a habit of giving me new weird names. Charles, Christian, Chis, Bitter. If I'm not mistaken, you had to call me out a couple times for calling you Chris, right? Like early on in our friendship? Yeah. Well, there's Chevelle, fellow St. Louisan, and man who sold me a pair of Detos relatively recently. Bacon. Oh, I bet they are, dude. I bet they are. Oh, I'm very interested, but I'm not getting them because I've set up certain limitations for myself, and I do my best not to break free of them. For instance, at this point, my collection is mostly limited to figures from The Mandalorian and figures from Ahsoka. And not only that, I'll just say this right now. I'm thinking that once all of the Ahsoka figures are released and in my home, I may pump the brakes. I'm not saying that I'm going to quit completely, but dudes, I'll go ahead and say this. I try not to go political on this channel, but it's hard not to talk about collecting these days and not bring up the subject of tariffs. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to 6 scale collecting, and I haven't talked to a lot of people about it. Certainly nobody who would know what's going to happen, but I think that our lives are about to get a lot more difficult in multiple ways, and certainly for those of us who collect $225, $275 action figures. The opening number on that price will no longer be a 2. Almost certainly. But things change not just from week to week, but not even from day to day. They're changing from hour to hour. So I'm hopeful that some sort of a compromise is reached between these two financially warring factions, because it's ludicrous. It's hurting the people that the instigator has promised to help. I don't want to pay a tax on my figures if it only really benefits, if the reason for that tax is to make up for tax cuts for people who make millions and billions more than I do every year. And I think that's what's happening. They need money to run a government. And the richest people in the country don't want to have to pay any taxes. They need that money in order to make more money and to acquire more power. And if they take that money, and it's like the president said, taxes are for suckers. If they take that money and put it into, if they're a good citizen and they pay their taxes, let's just put it that way. Let's say you're a billionaire, you pay all of your taxes. You do some deductions here and there, sure, but you're not hiding money. You just pay your taxes, pay what you're supposed to pay. Then there's no need for this kind of thing. There's no need for tariffs on toys or anything that comes from China or from any other country in the world, from penguins. It's ludicrous to me. I'm angry by it. I'm suppressing that anger a lot. Mostly by avoiding talking about it. and avoiding listening to news on it. And I'm going to move on from this pretty quickly, but let me just go ahead and bring it back around. I feel like I've gotten a little bit off the rails here. We're in a position right now where every one of our hobbies is going to be affected by this, because everything that collectors collect is made in China, by and large. And yeah, we're legitimately being made to make up for the deficit created by tax cuts to the rich. Period. Full stop. That's what's happening. I don't understand the philosophy behind anybody, especially anybody in my income level, who tries to make an argument to the contrary. It's not going to work. All it's going to do is make people like me suffer. And you. And that's all I got to say about that. Like that wasn't enough. Terry just collecting Pauls. I got a Paul over there in the closet. A couple in the basement. They keep the spiders at bay. Do a show with both Pauls and see if you can tell us apart. That would be challenging, because you're both just so freaking handsome. Did you shave? You had a beard for a little while, right? Oh, there's a new Naked Gun? I did hear about that. That's right. Yeah, there are never enough Pauls. There goes that NDA. Why? What did I say? What did I say? 927. How long ago was that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I need to get outside more. And Dobby agrees, right, Dobby? He's a good boy. Not sure if you know. ER was great. Yeah, okay. Oh, so it's pronounced Wiley. Oh, okay. I don't know who John Wells is. Something to do with the West Wing. Talk to me about that later. No need to post it in the comments. Yeah. Oh, House was good. My wife loved that. Ex-wife loved that show. So I got to watch a lot of that. Yeah, I think House was a product of its time. I think ER was a product of its time. And I don't know how well it would hold up to a modern audience who was just introduced to it for the first time. They were working on an ER sequel, but they had created a difference while working with the Michael Crichton estate. So they decided to make an entirely new show. Crichton estate's loss. Oh. Is that why? Never even considered. Yeah, I can totally get that. As a person who has a Roman numeral 2 at the end of his name and who has daddy issues, so to speak, yeah, I get that. I have frequently thought of changing my name. I know somebody else who had a problem with his father and changed his name and recently changed it back. I wonder if that's a sign of healing. I fully supported the name change in the first place, so. Oh, come on. Come on. No, that's never going to work. Right, Gina? By the way, hi. Good to have you here. Yeah, there's no way. Huh. I'm right there with you. Definitely would rather watch the horror movies. By the way, getting back to that ghost track, Lacrima opens up with this awesome keyboard intro that just reeks of classic horror cinema. And I'm talking about like 70s, 80s kind of stuff. It's so good. It's so good. Tune into that one. We got one song by them on their new album, Lacrima, that is basically, it's a song about vampires, but it's also a song about getting over a lost love and moving on. That's what it seems like. I haven't listened to Tobias talk about it yet. But, and another song about, as best as I could tell, it's about masturbation and the shame associated with it. So, and the video does support that. I did a full rewatch on one of the cable channels when I got laid off. Wow, really? Yeah, I've been laid off too, and it's funny the things that you'll do to pass the time. It's definitely going to kill collecting for me. Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, there are so many figures coming right now that we've all pre-ordered, and those are subject to that tariff. The stuff, if it hasn't crossed the ports at the time that the tariff goes into effect, then it's going to get hit with that tariff. So, one of two things: either distributors, I'm just going to say that, either distributors are going to take the hit financially, which will end them, or at least cause massive cutbacks, to the point that people like me will probably be let go. Or they're going to have to pass at least some of that on to the consumer. I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to put myself in the position of my bosses, and I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do, but it doesn't look good. I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. You've been taxed with import fees for the longest. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it's very frustrating. I've often read posts about people hating on the VATs over there, and oh God, you do. I'll get back to this in a second, Mitchell. You do irony in text very well, my friend. I never read. There are frequently people will post something to be ironic, a comment it's meant to be read ironically, but because there's no nuance, no facial expressions or anything like that, it's hard to convey that by the written word. You do it really well. I've never questioned. I always know when you're being ironic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough to really talk about that, but it does suck. And now we're about to find out. That's that's a little too much. I probably shouldn't have shown that one. Oh, there's an option. There's an option, but that will hurt my employer in other ways, I would think. And again, I don't have any inside information on the inner workings. I do my job for Sideshow, and that's my involvement with the company. I frequently get messages from people. Hey, Terry, do you know when the Ahsoka figure is shipping? I'm like, I find out. I say the same thing to everybody. I find out the same time you do. Yeah, that's exactly how I find out. I have no insider information. Nobody tells me nothing. And of course that extends to policy and what their reaction is going to be to this. But I don't know. I think I can speculate. Paul, message me and tell me if it's okay for me to speculate. Since you're the only one in here who has knowledge of your former employer, my current employer. Yeah, let me know if it's okay for me to speculate. If I'm speculating and not supposed to be, I need to know right now. Hasbro will shift a lot of their production to Vietnam, which will give them a little bit of a break. Yes. Yeah, but Hot Toys won't do that. Chinese company, right? I never liked House. I don't know. I think I liked House because of what's her name who played I can't remember the name of the character on the show, but she played Korra in Tron Legacy. God, beautiful woman. Possibly a little crazy. On the plus side, Daredevil, am I right? Oh my God! Hey, Brandon, what's up, dude? Brandon and I, Daredevil is literally all we talk about. It's a messaging. He messages me periodically with news or something that he got that's Daredevil related. I'm like, oh, so most of my Daredevil collecting fetish I get through him. I just watch his collection and he sends me his stuff, and I'm just like, that's the goal. Would love to have that. So it's fun to look at his stuff. Man, Brendan Riley is a hell of a Daredevil collector. You mean in terms of, and remember, when you guys post questions like this, if I'm way far behind, please let me know. Is this question in regards to tariff stuff or pumping the brakes? Because if it's in regard to pumping the brakes, then it's mainly the Hot Toys figures. There's only so many Hot Toys figures that one needs, and a lot of people would say that number is one, and I have a lot. And I think at some point you just have to say enough is enough. And even with the whole notion of curation, which I'm generally not allowed to do, anything that I buy from through Sideshow, I can't sell. Even stuff that has been given. The only things I can sell are things that I buy through eBay or get from places like the toy shop up the street. Just to keep people from abusing the privilege. Anyway, moving on. I'm not here to talk about work, and yet they're taking the hit like 5K Toys. Others have announced increases like Big Bad Toy Store and TFs. Really? Okay. Oh, price increases. Man, that's a big hit. That's a big hit. I predict the majority of pre-orders will dramatically drop, and a lot more collectors will back collect or pick up stuff that's already. I had that thought too, Keith. I was thinking about that this morning. Like that would be probably the preferred tactic. If you can get your figures, once the prices really go up on new stuff, then all of a sudden those prices in the aftermarket of figures that we used to think were exorbitant, they start to look a lot more appealing. So time to fill in some holes, everybody, I guess. Hey, dude. Doing good? What time is it? 12 till. So, hey, when you're posing with Sabine, I found legs kind of stiff when I was posing her. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I had forgotten that. I did do the first look for Sideshow, so I've got experience with the figure. Yeah. There are some, you got to be gentle with this Mandalorian. No different than Bo-Katan, yeah. I would say less speculating is always best idea. I know I almost got in trouble for speculating about something with my company once. Really? Okay. Olivia Wilde is indeed the person. I used to date a girl that looked just like her. Still miss her. I mean, it's an option, but the customers who order those goods will understand. I'll, of course, canceling those goods. There's certainly an upper limit of how much product you want to leave behind. Word. Shifting back to more important subject, I just saw the news that came out last night that Amazon is doing a Crouching Tiger series. That seems to be their jam, doesn't it? Take hit films and turn them into TV shows. Producers for All Mankind. Does that include Ronald D. Moore? Because that would be cool. Ronald D. Moore's on For All Mankind, right? I think so. What did somebody say? Somebody was like, For All Mankind is shaping up, and I think it was you, Mike. It's For All Mankind is shaping up to be a prequel to The Expanse. I like that idea. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Let's have that shift. Toy stuff only, please. I talked about politics and tariffs so much in here that I'm half tempted to take this string down after it ends. Exo6 has said R. Here. Okay. Exo6 said their Trek figures are pretty much going to be unaffordable for American customers now. That's disappointing because their stuff is pretty well done. Yeah. 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 That's a source I could probably reach out to. It's getting in the Netflix sequel was terrible. Oh, you know what? I never saw that sequel. I'll look into it. Anyway, it's not quite the top of the hour, but let's go ahead and pose that figure. Let's get past this depressing tariff talk. And like Christopher said, let's move on to things that are better for the soul. I feel like there were things that I wanted to show, like screens that I wanted to share, images. Oh, here's something fun. Read a comment on one of my videos that I produced recently that said, worst posing I've seen in my entire life. Just for Anakin. I kind of want to address that a little bit. Yeah, it's really, really a good face. Here's the thing. My Anakin poses. If you've ever stopped to look or watch video of Hayden Christensen, either in rehearsals for his duels in Star Wars, or actually in the film, by and large, he's borderline lock-legged, standing upright, and just twisting his torso, doing things like that. Many times. Most of the time. So I would say that my poses for the Anakin Skywalker figure, while not the best poses that I've hit in my career, are certainly not the worst. In fact, they may be more accurate than a lot of them. So that's about all I got to say about that. Yeah, it's funny how people. I'm not digging. I think I only like hyperbole when I'm the one hyperbolizing. I don't know if Three Strikes is coming back, but I'm really proud of my Scotty Doesn't Know concept shoot I posted the other night. It is coming back. Thanks, Gina. And I'm not. I didn't drop that out there looking for validation. I'm savvy enough in the ways of figural art to know what makes a pose good and what doesn't. Again, but thank you. Appreciate the support. I don't know. I don't know who it was. It wasn't Bitter Troll. It was I'm not going to name drop on this one. I don't want, because I'm afraid that some well-meaning person will go after the guy in the comments. I want to avoid that. So if you happen upon that, no need to comment on it. If you see that person's comment, I've already replied to it in a way that went over his head. He interpreted it as being supportive, when in point of fact, it was ironic. And it's so I consider the matter closed. It's not going to affect my job. It doesn't affect my ego. It doesn't affect me in any way. But I do think it's just hilarious. I think I take more of an exception to the hyperbolic nature of the comment. Worst posing you've seen in your entire life. Now, I think on the same video, you also saw somebody say worst head sculpt I've ever seen. Then what, are you new to the hobby? Have you only been here for 6 months? Because, what's the phrase? Don't speak to me of the old magic witch. I was there when it was written. You can't listen. That's actually even your name is ironic. Yeah. You can't listen and read to the keyboard. No, it's true, dude. But every now and then one of them says something so freaking outlandish that I have to call it out. I just can't not. I'm like, man, I remember I used to get, when I was cycling with these retired guys out in California, and they were badasses. I mean, these guys were in their 60s and just eating me alive on the road. But my experience with Californian motorists when it comes to their relationship with cyclists is, by and large, it's better than here, and certainly better than in North Carolina. But every so often you get some asshole, and that asshole would ruffle my feathers, and I'd talk back to him. One guy I even tried to chase down because he damn near ran me off the road. I was successful. I chased him down, but by the time I was exhausted and couldn't put up a fight, or much less, I couldn't talk, much less put up a fight. And B, what would have been the point, right? But I feel like what Larry's advice to me was, just remember, it says more about them than it does about you. And it took a while for me to understand the message he was trying to convey. But I get it now. Now when I read comments like that guy, like those people are being like all hyperbolic, it's like, I feel like when you're really going that hard at the sculpt of a 6-scale figure, or the quality of poses that are really, let's face it, open to interpretation. The posing is very subjective. What makes a good pose? That's very subjective. It's one of the things that I had a hard time with on Strike Pose. But it says more about them in that I have to think that they're just really looking for attention. And maybe when they see other people commenting in that same fashion, it says a lot about how they feel about that, how they admire that. They feel like when when commenters are coming at something that hard and being all bold, yeah, keyboard warrior-esque, then what is it? Do they want to emulate that? Do they think that that's admirable? Do they feel like that's how I want to be, so that's why they try to mimic that style? I don't get it. I get so much more joy out of just finding the joy in things, rather than finding the way to hate on things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trolls will indeed be trolls. Okay. People from Lower Peninsula, Michigan, trolls who live below the Mackinac Bridge. I have been to both of those places. I have been in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan for an extended period of time in the dead of winter, January. So we can talk about that. Anyway. Wow. Am I right? Look at her. And right now I realize we're just looking at the box. But I got to call out the World Between Worlds motif going on the cigar band. And I don't know if Hot Toys calls it a cigar band, but my good friend Guy Klender has always called it a cigar band. So I will as well. There we go. That's pride right there. And you can bet that in that video that I'm talking about, that I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be hitting that pose or something similar. Helmet holding pose is almost... Here's what I'm going to do. There's going to be a pose of her holding the helmet. And I'm going to try to top this one. That's a goal. There's going to be a pose of her. I don't know if it will work, because I'm pretty sure this is only a 90-degree bend figure. So, but I'm going to try best I can get her taking the helmet off. And so I won't be able to get her like right here, because that's slightly more than a 90-degree bend. But I think maybe if I have it up like this and just have her looking out the side at the camera, a little bit more of an angle. There's a Mandalorian helmet over there in the corner, but I'm already running behind. Actually, I'm not. I'm ahead. Oh, this is a new one. Infographic Tony. All Hot Toys lightsaber blades are tapered. Why is this so? From what I can see from the films, they're a constant thickness from start to end. Do you have thoughts on this? That is a style. I would guess that is a stylistic choice. And if you're only watching the films, then yeah, that's probably what you're going to see. But it probably also has something to do with the nature of light. And how it grows. There's what they call the rule of thirds when it comes to light. When you double the distance between a light source and the subject, then you're cutting the amount of light in half. So you double the distance here. Okay, here's your subject. Here's your light source. Okay. Here's your subject. Here's your light source. Okay, it's too hot. The light source is too hot. So you can adjust the camera settings if you want to, or you can just back off the light. And by doing that, doubling that, I've just cut the power in half. Okay. If I want to cut the power in half again, I have to double that. So if I had to guess, and I don't know a lot about the relationship between light and plastic that is being shined through. If I had to guess, the reason for that to taper is to minimize the amount of fall off that light gets, because the light is growing weaker. This is a really good question. It's making me think. Thank you. The light is growing weaker as it moves along the blade. So by tapering that, you're able to offset that effect. Now, I recognize that there will be people out there who will just be like, yeah, but the light's brighter at the source. That's true. But it's always going to be that way. And it will be worse, I would guess, if you had just a single, I know that there's that, what do they call those really ultra bright lightsabers that are made in the aftermarket? A lot of those were really hot for a little while. I don't know if they still are. But they've never been hot with me. And the reason for that is that I recognize that as cool as a super bright lightsaber is, in my collection, it would be so freaking distracting. So distracting, because as bright as those things get, I mean, I've got some LEDs in my office right now that I set up, and I need to adjust terribly. Oh, that's cool. What happened there? Somebody just did a like thing. I didn't do that. Who did that? So the LEDs that are on the shelves in my room, in my office studio, are so bright that it affects my ability to actually see the figure. It overpowers the ambient light in the room to the extent that it takes away from my viewing experience. And I can't help but feel like those lightsabers, those aftermarket lightsabers, would do the same thing. The light that comes from the Hot Toys sabers is enough for me. It has the desired effect, especially if you have the lights, if the lights are relatively dim in the room, or you have a darker background, like I do. Neutral gray is pretty much slightly darker than neutral gray is my background in there. Anyway, yeah, great question, Tony. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. I've been looking at the Hot Toys lightsabers for so long that I've just stopped questioning it. But as with all things Hot Toys, there's always a reason for something. Hey, look who's been a member for 21 months. After I cut it off? I can't believe I still have coffee left. I thought I was running out ages ago. It's one of those Asgardian mugs that refills itself. Or is that... It's a Doctor Strange mug. Yeah, if you look at the at some of the shots from the Clone Wars, and even from, I think, not the sequels, but maybe the prequels, sometimes you'll notice that that the blade actually, there's like a conical cap on it. Yeah, it's really kind of cool. Give 2 thumbs up or make a heart with your hands. Wow! When did that become a thing? That is badass. So did I do that then? I did do that. Okay. Oh my God, you've created a monster. Oh, somebody was trying to tell me that somebody actually created a real lightsaber, and I'm like, no, they didn't. Whatever that is, it's not a lightsaber. Mike made Terry a wizard. It's about damn time. Okay, so we've seen the box. All right, let's I should do that whole spinning thing more often. Let me take down that comment. Oh, Luis is here. What's up, Luis? Good to see you. He's here and he brought his enthusiasm. All right, so you know what? I should have just grabbed the one that Sideshow did, so I wouldn't have to mess with taking the plastic off of it. But I need to open my own anyway, so I might as well do it with you guys. Here we go. Sabine Wren's decorative insert. Once again, with the awesome World Between Worlds motif going on. I like the way that it frames her head like that. Very attractive head. And that's not just a comment on the actor's beauty, just the head in general. Really good. She has some unique bone structure, doesn't she? Like that you don't see every day. And it's really fun. I'm just getting back to Tony's question really quick. In my photographs that I do for my figures, I always use Photoshop to create the lightsaber glow. And I never follow that whole taper thing. I create the standard, so I get where you're coming from. Okay, I'm just so happy with that question. Thank you. All right. I love it when there's no tray within a tray. Anyway. So, I'm going to go ahead and take this tray out of the box so that I can create a home for all the plastic where I can find it all. Because lately I've been noticing that when I do these, I tend to leave plastic strung all over the floor, and sometimes I remember to pick it up and sometimes I don't. But just to give you an idea of how much plastic there is, I mean, everything that needs protecting is protected. And I think that the pattern that I'm noticing with these is that, let's go ahead and take her out. The pattern that I'm noticing is that they tend to focus the plastic covering on the areas that actually feature plastic. my guess is that that's a preventative measure designed to offset the long-term effects of off-gassing and plastic degradation. I don't know, but it sounds good on paper. And in this case, obviously, you have plastic between the wrist and the hand. And that is to prevent, what does Hot Toys call it? Paint fading. They used to. I don't know if they still do or not. I just always thought it was kind of funny that they actually meant paint scraping, paint scratching. Fading is a completely different animal. Obviously. Is there plastic on the boots? There is not. There is, however, the dreaded pleather. Again, if you can afford these figures, you can afford climate control. And since I experienced a few issues with a figure or two back around the time that I lived in Ventura and right after I moved to Charlotte. And I'm pretty sure the reason for that, again, I'm not a plastics engineer. I don't know about the science behind what causes the degradation and whatnot, but I feel like, yep, we got a hidden neck wrap. I feel like it's on there tight. On me tight, I can't shake her. Might have to break out the scissors for this one. No, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. There we go. Easy, Heath. I feel like the large, by and large, the damage that my figures were taking, the paint, the flaking of the pleather and whatnot that I experienced, and it was legitimately 2, maybe 3 figures that I experienced it with, is because my house in Ventura had no climate control. I mean, it had a heater, one of those wall-mounted heaters so common in California. But wow, good-looking figure. But it had no air conditioning. Like legitimately, and we're living on the coast. We're less than a mile from the beach. Marine layers coming through. It's like nonstop barrage of moisture coming through our household. I mean, it doesn't get nearly as humid as it does here in St. Louis, but over time, there's more exposure. And I feel like that really is what contributed to the downfall of those figures. And what were they? I don't even remember what they were. I think one of them might have been a Catwoman figure. Yeah, and I think the others were all sideshow things. Yeah, they were. They were all sideshow things. So one single Hot Toy figure in my possession has developed a paint flaking issue, or pleather flaking issue. I don't know what y'all are doing to your figures, but there are simple things that you probably ought to avoid. Maybe I should do a video about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Sabine. There is meant to be a unboxing element to this pose off thing, and again, not the best lighting in my studio. I'm going to back her off because the further back you get, the more directional the light becomes. But that is a solid head sculpt. There's been a lot of heat about the difference between prototypes and production. You're always going to have a degree of loss. It's just the nature of the beast, and I think that we've come a very long way in the percentage of loss that we're experiencing. Maybe that's why I don't get so angry about it, because I've been in the game for so long that I remember when it used to be a whole lot worse. So for me, this compared to the prototype images is not just acceptable, it's extraordinary. It's, and the same thing goes for, oh God, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. But same thing goes for this gal. And yes, I will be potentially posing this up. Look at that. Did I show this off last week? I don't think that I did. But that is, seriously, that is Rosario Dawson, man. Hey, look, everybody. I just remembered an actor's name. Live. Doesn't happen every day for those who don't know. Okay. So, yeah. Trying to figure out what I want to do with her that I haven't already done. That's something that I noticed. Okay, so the sidekick. Look at him. Or her. Look at it. Yep. Gotta hold it like that. Gotta hold it by its butt. I mean, seriously. You know, love cats were always just like something that I acknowledged in Rebels. But over time, they have just become this iconic presence that I just need in anything Rebels related. Job well done, Filoni. You did it. Now this is cool. Sabine's helmet includes a neckerchief. Obviously an articulated rangefinder. God, I keep going backwards here. Articulated rangefinder to the tune of 90 degrees plus, it looks. So you got to be careful with that. Yeah, I've forgotten all about how challenging this could be, trying to get this around the neck when you change out the head. So I'll have to be careful with that. So that's, yeah, again. And I want to say, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is the same paint scheme that we saw at the end of Rebels, the finale. Let's see, standard issue motion and let's go over here. Yeah, standard issue motion and static lightsaber blades. Look how notice how that does that little fade thing. Like this is actually where the blade is, but this is meant to indicate where it's falling off. See how that fades? Love that. These things are so damned heavy that they're borderline useless. It's very challenging to find a position where it won't weigh so heavily on the wrist peg that it actually drags it out of position. So for me, I haven't figured out a way to do it. If you guys, if anybody out there watching this has figured out a way to make a pose with a motion lightsaber blade work over time, let me know. And again, I've been very vocal in my support of this as the best way to do these things, because there's legitimately, like I said, I'm not a plastics engineer, but there's legitimately no other way to create this effect and create it in a lighter lightsaber blade. The weight is just a consequence of having what we want. And it will hold its position long enough for photos, so I haven't had too big of a cause for complaint. Whew. The lightsaber formerly known as Ezra Bridger's, and another one that happens to have a wire on it. And we're actually going to go ahead and use that wire today, I think, because I remembered to bring in cables. Tool for manipulating the eyes. Jeez. Oh, I did it again. Hang on. There we go. Let's do that. Boom. Okay. Focus point was off center. There we go. Oh, look at that. Nice and sharp and quick. I love that. I don't remember if Sabine is one that actually has a big enough opening in her, but I don't think I'll be able to use my finger like I can with the Gentleman. We've got two blaster hands. Yeah, let's see. Over here. Two blaster hands. Okay, we've got two. Are these fists or lightsaber grips? Lightsaber grips. Now, here's the cool thing. Yeah, lightsaber grips. God, my fingers are not able to get in here. Usually when I'm working in the studio and it comes time to remove the pieces from the tray, I just up in the tray on the table and hope for the best. And by the best, I mean that nothing falls off the table. All right. And we got fists. There we go. Yeah, fists, which I may or may not need. Let's see. And, oh, you know what? Oh, this is the helmet holding hand. There's actually a hand for holding the helmet. Don't have to wrestle with that anymore. That's great. Thank you, Hot Toys. Let's see. Westar 35 blaster pistols, custom designed and painted by Sabine Wren. I love her whole little... Oh, God, I'm going to have to try to remember which color goes where. We've got a little hologram and holo emitter. Hologram of Ezra Bridger. that predates his hipster look. I'm just going to put that in its home and show it off that way. Yay. And we'll set that up on the computer with a loath cat. Oh, actually, that's actually a pretty good idea. Like if you had one of those tables, I'm going to need the, where is, there it is. So we've got spare wrist pegs. That's good. Looks like there's little spare buttons too, because there are certain areas of her costume where those tiny little buttons are glued on and they may fall off if people aren't careful. I include myself in that comment because I have knocked off so many of those buttons. All right, and that's everything out of the box. Oh, look, that slides off. That's convenient. And time to roll. Is it quarter after yet? 18 after. God, I just got to shut up and pose. Oh, there's a t-shirt. Who wants that t-shirt? Just kidding. Can you imagine wearing that out and all of a sudden you're just walking down the can you imagine if you're wearing that t-shirt out and just all of a sudden just people just started posing as you're walking by? I can't either, but I mean, I can imagine, but I don't think it would happen. Waist grabber support. Now, here's what I wanted to point out. I don't know if it's going to come across on camera, but the thing about these hands is that, yeah, you're not going to be able to tell on camera. When I first saw them, I thought that was actual fabric. Legitimately did. I thought they'd wrap these things in fabric. All right, so question. Helmet or portrait? I want to scroll through some comments really quick. Oh yeah, Tron Ares has really got me, man. Seriously. I mean, I would, to be fair and biased, I feel like I would like anything Tron Ares or anything Tron at this point. Thank you. I was that. Yeah, that needs to be like if I had a drinking game in here like Paul, that would totally be the rule. All right, so what are we going to do? I'm thinking blaster pistol and lightsaber and portrait. And then we can swap out the portrait for the helmet if everybody wants to see what it looks like with the helmet. So she's right-handed with a lightsaber. Dual wielding blaster. So we need a... I don't feel like that track. Not feeling it today. It's a good track, but not for me. That is... Maul, or anybody with a double-bladed lightsaber, is kind of the exception to the rule because they kind of balance each other out. Yeah. I've had experience with that recently. There's a lot of Maul in my collection. And about to be one more. Hashtag concept. Hashtag Ian McKeag. Just going to pop that on there right now just to get it out of the way. Make sure I've got my cord down there. And really quick, I'm going to look up Hot Toys Sabine Wren. One-handed typing. Google that. And try to detect. Oh, that's a great pose. Man. Knocked a hand onto the floor. Let's see if I can just look at images and find what I'm looking for here. Boom. Oh, well, that's pretty much exactly the pose I was going to do. But that's all right. I'll do my own modifications for it, and we'll see how it looks. But it is the blue in the right hand, if they're to be believed. And even if not, I can imagine a situation where she's dropped her pistols and she's not going to discriminate which one she picks up. So pew pew for the right hand, which means we need the pew pew. The right-handed trigger grip, which of course is the one that fell to the floor. I wouldn't fret about it so much if I weren't 55 years old with old man knees. Okay. Proper posing etiquette. Always remember to put the gun into the hand before you put the hand onto the peg. And to put the lightsaber, well, if you're using a unpowered version, this is a trick. Pull it, grip it, and pull it, and it will straighten out the curls. I feel like everybody probably already knows this trick. And then you can counter twist it while you're pulling. Hold it there for a second, and yeah, that's much better. Oh, you're not wrong there, man. That would be great. I did fill did I fill it? Is my bucket list full? At the time, it was not. That was just the first of 5. And then Thanos, who you can't see, was another one. The light cycle is right over there. But yeah, that would be an awesome effect. Hot Toys, if you're listening, they're not. Okay, so you kind of want to consider the placement of the kind of want to consider the placement of the cable when you're just determining where. So you have to think about the pose and what it's going to look like before you actually put the lightsaber into the character's hand. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here right now. It's tight. It's really tight. Let's kill that. Once again, I've put the comments. Totally likely. Yeah, not at all unlikely. And apologies to anybody who's never watched me do this before, but sometimes I just have to put, because of the nature of my lenses, I have to put the things below camera view in order to put the hands on them or put them in the hands or whatever. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Notice this wire is sticking out the bottom there, and the pose is going to have her with the lightsaber at the back. So I'm going to preemptively twist this lightsaber so that the wire is facing away from the angle of view. And that will, ideally, help hide it. Raise your hands if you don't use your teeth when pulling wrist pegs out of hands, and I'll call you a liar. All right. So I don't know if this is going to... Here we go. So you need to feed the cable into the short part of the gauntlet, the vambrace, and then drop it down, and then replace it. Maybe. There we go. Okay. And again, trying to keep the wire on that outside of her sleeve so that you maximize concealment. And then get that wrist peg back in. Oh, wow, that's really not going to work with me there. Okay, bring that out some more. And there we go. Oh, that's very well hidden. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up the back side of her arm, like so. And I don't know. Oh, that works. Yeah, that works perfectly. So we're going to pop this off. Yes, there are 2 Velcro. I'm just going to go ahead and take off the armor. There are 2 Velcro pieces at the back there. And that creates a perfect point for running the cable. Oh, fuck me. Which way's up? There we go.
This is one of the situations. I forgot which way was up with this back piece, but fortunately, Sabine's paint job is asymmetrical, so you just have to match the paint. Lost it. There we go. Okay, cool. That's done. And we'll just leave that hang there until the opportunity presents itself to actually do what I'm going to do here. Which next step is to swap out the hand. And this is a good pose to have because you have the option to do the same pose either with the helmet or without the helmet. All right. Resisting the urge to look at the photograph. It's not on screen anymore. Okay, good. All right, so we've got one blaster out. That means we've got to put the other blaster in its holster. So let's go ahead and do that. Please don't break anything. I don't think Sabine... Yeah, Sabine came out in one piece. All right. That's good. Oh, it gets in there nice and snug. You've got the... You've got the trigger guard nicely exposed, which I don't know if you would need that or if that's even desirable because you could accidentally squeeze it. This is great. Nobody's commenting. It's like, don't comment, guys, or he'll keep talking. Let's get this pose done. All right, now I have to close my eyes and imagine what I'm going to be doing here. And I'm going to have her front leg going up forward. Front leg. Her right leg going forward. So part the legs a little bit. Bring this out. I'm just going to test the range of motion on this because I can't remember what it was. And it's not great. It's like 45 degrees. Which is more than I need. I think. Now, okay, first thing I'm noticing is that my bend kind of has a weird, like, knees slightly inward. And I've been called out for that by multiple people, but I really feel like that has a really cool effect. You've seen awesome artists like Michael Whalen or Frank Frazetta do that kind of thing, especially with their female characters, where there's a slight cock to the leg inward. And I think that's, I don't know if I want to go so far as to say it's attractive because that borders on creepy. Oh, look at that. That's right. This one doesn't have a lot of rotation. I'm going to get this down. The pose for the arm is going to be really freaking boring. I feel like I need to move this closer. Out of the way, Box. There. Does that help? You know what else would help? Raising it up. There we go. Better, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so going to cock that. I'm going to hopefully bend the feet. I didn't check to see what sort of ankle joint that there is. But I'm hoping... Yeah, you can get some lateral movement out of that. A little pronation, supination. Bringing the conversation back full circle. Okay. So I'm loving this. Just going to go ahead and bring this over. And hopefully this works with the... I'm taking this stand out of this support, out of the stand, so that I can place the feet to see if I'm going to be able to pull off what I want to pull off with this. And already I can see that I'm running into trouble. So I may not be able to do what I wanted to do, which is fine. I'll just have to do it slightly differently, and I'll have to add a cock to the hip just to make it really awesome. I really wanted her stepping up on there, though. That's the downside to these waist grabber supports, is that they're not really flexible when it comes to body position. Okay. I've got that foot out as far as it will go, so we're just going to have to imagine that she's kind of partially stepping. So this is where I'm at so far. Got my foundation. No support. Stands on its own. I'm going to tweak this lightsaber position at the end, but for now, I really just want to get that combat posture going. That means that I want to twist the torso hard to the left and maybe crunch it. I don't know if that's going to work. And then let's raise the blaster arm up this way. Again, this is not the best angle. I've really got to take some time to develop. Get that blaster arm up. It's nice and straight there, but we don't want that. We want a slight bend to the elbow. Rotate that around and drop the blaster, and then unbend that elbow if you can. Thankfully, these are not, what do you call it, ratcheted joints. Ratcheted joints are nice for the longevity of the figure. If you're planning on posing it a lot, it will help to maintain the tightness of those joints over time. The downside to ratcheted joints is that they dictate certain positions that the arm can be posed in. So if you're wanting to make a minute adjustment to the bend of an elbow, and that elbow has a ratcheted joint, that might prohibit you from doing exactly what you need to do, and you need to make corrections in other areas. Okay, so I think now is the time to bring in... Oh, look, I lost the nameplate. Oh, well. Now's the time to bring this in. Amateur. Got to put the nameplate on. Got to put the waist grabber on first, tighten it, and then drop it on. And yeah, I recognize that these are remedial points that I'm bringing up, but there may be some beginners who watch the show at some point. If I can be so bold as to suggest that possibility. Making a little bit of a tweak to the knee pads here because it was slightly cockeyed, and producer Michael is frequently calling me out on forgetting to adjust knee pads. I think I'm getting better. I'm going to twist that torso a touch more. All right, cool. I like the position of her head here. But we know what I don't like about it, right? Position of the eyes. All wrong. And the position of the gun, too. Because I want her aiming down it. Get that up. There we go. Lean her forward. Waist grabber supports me in. I feel like one of the things that I need to buy for myself is... I mean, I'm sure I can find them on eBay, is more groin grabber supports. I don't know. Maybe I'll start making some. I'll have to look into that. All right. Nice firm foundation. Are you seeing where I'm going so far? That will be adjusted later. Again, lightsaber. That will be the last thing we do. So for now, though, let's go ahead and pop that head off. Ha! My dainty little man finger can fit in there. And now, if I can recall the first time that I used this might be one of the first figures that I did that I worked with the rotating eyes. I think it was Linda that suggested the whole notion of holding the head upside down in order to better judge the direction that you're giving the eyeballs. And I find that's very helpful. A little bit less on that side. There we go. Ooh, a lot less. Oh, that one's really loose. I am noticing that Hot Toys is already improving the stiffness of the rotating eyeballs. Love that. Oh. But yeah, this one is so loose. Oh, no, it's not. It's just my eyes are so bad. Boom, done. Let's take a look at that, because sometimes you can see better in camera. Oh, that's not good, is it? Or is that just a weird glare? You know what this situation calls for? Computer glasses. There. Now let's try it. Oh, yeah, that's way off. Okay. I think that should do it. Let's put her back on and find out. Front to back, front to back. There we go. I know, dead air, but sometimes when I'm focusing on something, you know why I don't wear these computer glasses when I'm on when I'm on camera? I don't know what it is that they did differently with these things, but you can legitimately screen cap and see anything that's on my screen or on my desk. There's nothing incriminating unless you consider lotion to be incriminating. And Keith Lee probably does. Okay. I don't really have to do much to this back arm. I'm just going to give it a slight rotation back and a little bit of a bend and rotate it outward. Yeah, that's going to do. I also need to adjust this this van brace because it needs to be the top of the van brace needs to be flush with the top of her hand. I'm going to see if I can tighten this wire up a little bit so you really can't see it. All right, let's go ahead and drop the wire down into the. Let's see. The fork goes to the rear. I think. Better confirm that. Because if you put these in backwards and put too much pressure on them, you'll break it. I like that track a lot. I'm tempted to start it over again. Okay. Lightsaber bleed. Yeah, there we go. All right. $10-foot long USB-C cable. That's right. I don't play. I bought these actually. I generally bought these because I wanted to. I was planning on lining up some figures in the dead toss to the right and left of my desk here, but I didn't wind up doing that. So if you, oh God, bloody hell, this isn't USB-C to USB-C. I bought these things before my iMac crapped out. So I'm going to need to purloin an adapter here from another device, which is infinitely better than having to search for a cord, an appropriate cord that's long enough. All right, try again. Wow. Oh crap! I popped it out. Can never find the. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, that's the other downside about these tiny little power cables. But that by their nature, I mean, there's nothing that can be done about it. Hot Toys is on their game, as always. But they pop right the hell out at the slightest provocation. Fuck. I think I might have bent it out of shape. You gotta be careful. Son of a bitch. Shit. Okay. Oh, that's the downside of doing things live, everyone, is that when something goes south, everybody has to suffer for it. Tolerance on this is... All right. For all you Ghost fans out there, doesn't this song sound a lot like something we would have gotten from Magna Carta Cartel? Oh, son of a bitch, man. It's not going to go. You know what would help? Except for we're doing it from the right angle. There we go. Operator error. All right, we need that. Dude, seriously. I have dropped so many figures off the backs of tables because of these things, trying to do turnarounds on them. All right. And voila. Alas. I feel like that needs to come out of touch. Pretty happy with that. Quarter till. Let's get a Loth Cat in there in the mix. Going into battle with your Loth Cat. I mean, that's a thing, right? Yeah, and I think I've even got the position of the eyes right on the first-ish try. Yeah, they could be a little better. Yeah. See what I mean by the glow of the lightsaber? That's as hot as it needs to be. Let me just move out of the way there so you can see. Yeah, those... And I'm just... Yeah. I feel like my argument for the reduced diameter of the blades is pretty sound. And it does maintain a pretty steady consistency all the way to the tip as a result. Yeah. I also feel like they're getting brighter. I feel like the with the advent of these USB power packs that sit at the back, we're getting more brightness out of the lightsabers than we were initially. But that one's really good. That one's solid. Yes. Never touch an artist's art supplies. Never without my permission. Using a Lilu reference there. Yeah, that works. One of the reasons that this works is because of the symmetry between the arms, the bends in the arms, right? It kind of creates a balance, a bit of a balance there, which I appreciate. I'm all for the balance. Oh, let's move her over though. Right? And I didn't plan far enough ahead. Yeah. There's no slide this around. There's no I've got both of Ahsoka's gripping hands in there. You know what happened here is I needed to reshoot the portrait for Ahsoka because the lighting I had on it sucked. And fun. And so I have her holding the lightsaber that she was holding, but not the other lightsaber. The Shoto lightsaber is not being held here. Let's see, if Sabine's going like that, then Ahsoka needs to be complementary. Yeah, okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to swap out Ahsoka's blade. How much time do I have for this? 13 minutes? Maybe I should put Sabine someplace safe while I do this. So let's go with a reverse position on that. Oh, that's right. The thing about Ahsoka is that she has the D ring at the butt of her saber. So if you try to put the saber into her hand butt first, then, which also happens to be the way that I was born. My poor mother, born doubled over butt first. Can you imagine? But because of that D ring, you don't want to run the risk of damaging the figure with the D ring, or breaking the D ring off. Perish forbid. Okay. Now, Guy had a question for me when I got this figure in. Will I be able to use my new Ahsoka portrait on my old Ahsoka body? Yes, but why would you? And he called this out. He knew it. He was aware. Because the tiara is different. And unlike the first Ahsoka figure, where the portrait separated from the head in front of the tiara, it does it a different way. And besides, two entirely different portraits, they probably would not have been shaped properly anyway. So let's go ahead. Ahsoka is a figure in which, they're in a hand. Ahsoka is a figure which does require a tool. You would have to have some pretty damn dainty fingers in order to get them in there. It's a very tiny gap. The left eye on this one is... Sorry, the right eye on this one is very loose. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. Yeah, I think that'll do. And if it doesn't, so what? You get the general idea. So how would I pose these two together? Post, what do you want to call it? Post, slaying of Morgan Elspeth. And by the way, these things are posable. About 10 degrees. You get about 10 degrees bend in the tips, which is pretty awesome. All right, drop her back on there. And let's do a pose without the base and put it on the base afterwards. Love this base. Isn't that cool? Again, Dathomiri glyphs. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. I'm just going to do this one super freaking fast. Left knee forward. Boom. And yeah. Vander here. Bring this up. Bend the feet. Get those flat on the ground. Get that fist up. I don't remember if she comes with actual fists. Yeah, those eyes could be better. That left eye is ever so slightly. Okay, good. Oh yeah, you know what else is going on here? I have to remind myself constantly that this is a seamless figure body, because the cloak hides it. So I keep wanting to really go beyond the preferred tolerances for such a figure. And yeah, I'm going to wind up doing some damage to one of my figures if I don't pay attention there. I need to figure out where I can put this stand. That's upside down. Drop it down to hold. Let's go ahead and reveal that hand a little bit. Create some draping in that. Oh, should totally have taken the cloak off, but oh well. All right, I don't have time to go find Ahsoka's power pack and get it lit up. So this is your bonus. Sorry, Keith Lee. My original intent was to have your droids, but I've opted to go with this instead, and I think that's probably better because they are associated with each other. Oh, why did I do that? Sorry for that. Leaving that comment up that whole time. That's lame, I know. All right, let's get them at the same focus point. Yeah, how's that looking? Hey, must be sunrise in the Philippines. What's up, Renz Tolentino? Everybody familiar with Renz? Great artist, man. One of these days, once my divorce is settled, I may have to ask him to. So yeah, sorry, Rune. I may have to ask. I may have to ask Renz to do some ghost art for me because his ghost art is great. Speaking of ghost, yeah, I'm aware, Rune. That's we talked about it pretty early in the show, so I didn't say a whole lot. It's great, isn't it? Oh God, yeah, it's true. Like which ones? There's so many different ankle joints, right? I haven't taken the time to try to reverse engineer and figure out exactly what the decision is on all of the ankle joints. There are some that I'm just like, why? A lot of them are on female characters. And I don't know. It can be frustrating, but there are workarounds. If your goal is, the nice thing about, say, just the straight up ball and socket joints that they do on certain figures, they're great. They do have a tendency to wear out over time, and especially on the daintier figures, like with thinner ankles and such. So I can see why you would want to do something like those really crazy pivot joints, whatever you want to call them. Like the kind that only go front and back, unless you pop them out and twist. And there's a degree of difficulty involved with that. I mean, there's a learning curve here with that particular joint. I wish I had a figure out here that actually had those. It's possible Sabine does. No, she doesn't. But you just have to plan ahead. You have to pre-visualize what your pose is going to be and try to figure out where the foot is going to be, and then it becomes a best guess scenario. And you either hit it or you don't, in which case you just have to pop the foot out again, make some minute adjustments. Practice is what helps with things like this. Oh God, I love these two figures together. I can't wait to get my Ahsoka now. I'm trying to get her in focus. There we go. Okay. Isn't it great? The Ahsoka figure is so good. And so is the Sabine. And I can't imagine the one without the other. I mean, they are a clan of two, more or less. The situation calls for shots. No, last night's slip up was one and done, my friend. I had a couple drinks while I was on vacation too, because what happens on vacation stays on vacation. But last night, now that I'm home, I don't like how it makes me feel. Thank you. All right. Well, that's about it. It's 4 minutes till, so I need to start winding down. Would look better with droids. Yeah, Chopper would have been good. I know that even like producer Sam is lamenting the fact that that Hera isn't out yet. So I'm sure a lot of other people are too. Where's my... Oh, there was a tangle in my hair and it pulled some hair out. Hey, there's Linda. Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys... Oh. It would take too much time. It's a very challenging thing to swap out. And I just don't want to take the time. I feel like there was something I had to do, or was it something oh, there it is. Yeah, that pops out. And then it's got a removable neck joint so that you can actually treat it like a helmet instead of like a portrait. So you just have to, but the thing is, all right, I'm going to do it anyway. The portrait is so good on this. Why would you want to hide it? I guess is my question. Now I need to expose this bit so that I know what I'm dealing with here. I can't remember. Okay, it just slips right over. Oh, God, this is hard. Because you got to pull it down over the neck. Oh, that actually was way easier than I remembered. Am I doing this wrong? Okay. I'm out of practice, so bear with me while I put this back where it's supposed to be, like so. And now I can just do what I originally, for some reason, thought was hard. I seem to remember like having to turn something inside out to get this properly onto her head. But I guess I'm misremembering that. And at this point, it becomes guesswork. No? See what I mean? It does take some time and patience. There we go. Pop. Now, because you don't have the eyes to provide direction, you need to make adjustments. So just turn that head and have her aiming right down the blaster, and voila. Sorry, Keith, left your comment up again. And there it is. They really do look good together. They really do look good. So looking forward to Hera coming in. Who else am I missing? Hera's not out yet. Marak is not out yet. What else is there? There's young Ahsoka. There's young Anakin. Clone Wars Anakin. There is... I feel like I'm missing somebody. Captain Rex. There's Ahsoka, Captain Rex. I've got them listed right here in bookmarks. Oh, but not in this app. Break it up. Let's see. Yeah, Ahsoka's on the way. Let's see. Thrawn. I don't have Thrawn. It's an oversight. Grievous, Droidicus, Savage Press, Arc Trooper 5. I'm just reading off the figures that I have on pre-order. Plo Koon, Pro Droid. That's a sideshow TF that I'm getting. Wolf, Anakin Clone Wars, Anakin Artisan Edition, Moon Knight Artisan Edition. Shinati, that's the one I was forgetting. That's it. She's all the way down at the bottom. I wonder why that is. Better late than never. Yeah. You're here just in time to say goodbye. Yes, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah. Great figure. I am, in fact, I wasn't planning on it, but once I pared down to just the essentials, and I made a couple of cuts initially, but once I'd pared those down, I was like, I don't know how to say this. It was like there were only 2 figures in the line that I wasn't getting. So I thought, why the hell not? Yeah. I'm trying to remember, do I have them all actually on order, though? And the answer to that question doesn't lie on my computer. It lies in my phone. And then I'll say farewell, bid you all adieu. So if y'all are here for the posing's done. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't think I have Shin Hati. I don't think I have an order in for Shin. Yeah, I do. Okay, good. Shin, Rex, Ahsoka the White, Ahsoka the Padawan. Hera's there. So yeah, Maroc. Already got Balin. I got Chopper. Yeah, so I've got them all on order. Unless I'm forgetting something. Just looking for Captain Rex on that list and not seeing him. Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good. Got them all. And yeah, the Mandalorian collecting is slowing down quite a bit. I was able to land a. I think I did. Didn't I do a? Yeah, that was like my first figure back. Right? Was Moff Gideon 2.0, the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. So yeah, I've got him. And yeah, it's. I'm really. Unless something really amazing is done with Mandalorian, I don't. And I know that we have a whole other season and a whole movie coming. So who the hell knows what that's going to include. Anyway. Gotta go, dudes. I'm tired. I'm going to rest up with my dog and watch an episode of something. Probably Doctor Who. You guys have a great weekend. Have a great week after that. And I will see you, I hope, back here on next Saturday, when I will likely be unboxing and live posing something else. No idea what yet. Should have done a vote, but it'll probably be Balin's skull. I can put her with him. That'd be rad. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and until next time, be good to your plastic.